Hello, friends. Hi. All right, this is Katie Schiffgen's Deep Power class. I'm here in my basement. I hope everybody got the memo. Mosaic is on pause for this week and next week just to stay really safe and in accordance with the governor's mandate. So all classes this week and next week are going to be either from home, well, broadcast from home or broadcast from our space, but just online. So this is Deep Power, so a slow down power class basically. It's my favorite way to teach and my favorite way to practice. So it will still be really good strengthening stuff and also good mobility stuff. Let's see if anyone's watching. One person watching. I love you, whoever you are. All right. Let's start just in a comfortable seat. So find a seat on your mat. I'm facing towards you. You can face towards the top of your mat. And if you have any wiggles you want to get out, go ahead and just kind of stretch. Maybe reach your arms up, stretch from side to side. Whatever feels good. So you can roll your head around, roll your shoulders around. And then as you're ready, just come to stillness. So sit up nice and tall, lengthen through your spine, lengthen through the back of your neck. Close your eyes, soften your face, soften your shoulders, and then just place your hands intentionally. So hands on your lap, hands to your heart, or one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. And let's just drop in with 3 great, big, deep breaths. So next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can. Hold at the very, very top in fullness. Exhale, open mouth, sigh, let it go. Do that 2 more times. So inhale, fill up. Hold at the top. And keep holding your breath. Let's see if you can soften and relax around it. And then when you're ready, open mouth, sigh, release. One more time. So great big huge inhale. Hold. And any stress, anxiety, any heaviness you feel like you're holding, just big huge exhale. Breathe it out. Let it go. Sigh it out. Seal your lips gently now and start to bring in your Ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose, gentle constriction in the back of your throat. And start to create that whisper noise or that oceanic sound with your breath. You can stay here as long as you'd like. But when you feel ready to add some movement, we'll transition forward onto hands and knees. And I forgot to mention in the description of this class, I did put a link to a Spotify playlist. So if you want to add music to this class just on your own speaker, then feel free to get onto my link, get onto my Spotify and use that playlist just if you want to. All right, so once you're on your hands and your knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, just take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, round your back, curl in. Do one more just like that. So really exaggerate the movement as much as you can and see if you can find mobility even through your mid-spine, through your mid-back. And then for your next round, invitation to hover your knees above the ground. So with your knees hovering, inhale into your cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, and really push down through your hands. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift and arch. And exhale, round. I think cow pose is really challenging with your knees hovering. All right, set your knees down, and you're gonna walk your hands forward a little bit and just come into a cobra or an up dog position. So allowing your hips and your pelvis to move towards the ground, heart lifts, roll your shoulders back and down, and if you wanna stay low, that's fine. Press down firmly through your shoelaces, and imagine with your hands that you're trying to drag your body forward. So with your hands, pull back. Take one more big inhale and think of lengthening through your front body. Exhale, release, and lower all the way down. All right, so stay on the ground for just a moment, resting on your belly, and then reach your left arm out to the left with your palm face down, your fingers spread wide. Roll over onto your left side for shoulder pigeon. So left leg stays straight, bend your left knee, bring the sole of your right foot down behind you. If there's a different variation you want to take, please feel free. And if you want to modify, keep your legs just in a fetal position. That'll kind of cushion your low back, so to speak. So if you're being gentle, think of a fetal position with your legs. Take about 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And just think of breathing all the way down into the fronts of your shoulders, or the front of your left shoulder, I should say. And then as you're ready, in your next breath or so, we'll switch to the other side. So come through center. You can take a moment there if you want to. And I have the wall behind me, so I'm going to scoot to the left side of my mat. Right arm reaches out to the right, palm face down, and then roll onto your right side body. Take whatever variation you want to with your legs and even with your left arm. Make sure you're breathing nice, big, deep breaths. Take 1 or 2 more rounds here. Soften through your face. Hopefully your neck is relaxed, your head is just resting against the ground. And then ease your way back onto your belly. On your belly, bring your forehead down, hands to your low back, interlace your fingers. Before you lift anything else up, just think of lifting your shoulders up away from the earth. Squeeze your back muscles around your spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine. Exhale all your air out. And then next time you breathe in, lift everything up. Lift, lift, lift. Hug in with your inner thighs, so don't let your feet drift apart. Squeeze your big toes towards each other. See if you can lift a little higher. Maybe lift your hands up and reach your knuckles back just a little further. One more inhale. Feel that opening at the front of your shoulders, the front of your heart. Exhale, let it go. Good job. Bring your hands to frame your mid-ribs. Press up through tabletop. And just for a moment, back to a child's pose. So hips to your heels, forehead rests on your mat. Reconnect to your big, deep Ujjayi breaths. All right. Next time you inhale, tabletop position, hands and knees. Hovering tabletop, so tuck your toes, hover your knees above the ground. Now, as slow as you possibly can, move into a downward facing dog. So you're going to lift your hips up. Imagine there's a rope pulling your belly button up and then tugging your belly button back. So hips start to press back. Legs begin to straighten maybe a little bit more. So once you are in your down dog, take a few breaths just to move and explore it. So pedal out your heels, shake your head yes or no. So this class is all about feeling into those deeper muscles, those little tiny muscles. We're not moving through the poses, we're getting into the poses and holding and breathing and seeing what we can discover in each one. So some flow classes, you're just kind of moving through it. This class, you're gonna stay, you're gonna sit in it and see what's there. So sometimes it's really nice and really enjoyable, and other times it's super uncomfortable and almost torturous. You wonder why you chose to come, and that's all part of it. So just observe what happens for you, and then just get curious. Take one more big inhale into your down dog. Exhale, take your gaze forward as slow as you can, tiptoe to the top of your mat. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Really think of lifting up through your belly button, through your waistline. So every time you step forward, you feel your navel draw towards your spine. You feel your core engage. When you're at the top of your mat, set your heels down so you're in a forward fold. Keep your heels light against the ground. So most of your weight is forward in the front half of your feet. Next time you breathe in, halfway lift. So lengthen from the top of your head back to your sit bones. Press back through the tops of your thighs. Exhale, fold. Do that one more time. Inhale, halfway lift, nice and long. Exhale, fold, and then as slow as possible, one vertebra at a time, roll up to stand. Let your arms and your head hang heavy the entire way. And then just at the very, very top, your head stacks, your shoulders roll back and down, your palms open to face forward. So this is Tadasana, mountain pose, standing at the top of your mat with awareness, with attention and intention. So that said, if there is a specific intention that you would like to set for your practice tonight, please take just a moment to complete your thoughts, to focus on it, maybe visualize something that makes sense for you with your intention. So it doesn't have to be literal. Maybe it's a color, maybe it's a shape, maybe it's a word, maybe it's just a flash of a scene, maybe it's a person. So whatever works for you. Stay as you are. Next inhale, breathe in as big as you can. Hold in that fullness. Think of taking your intention and breathing it into all the little spaces inside your body. And then when you're ready, big, huge sigh out your mouth and think of sending it out, blasting it out into the universe. Ha. Ujjayi breath. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, slow dive down. So heart leads all the way down, Uttanasana. With your inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. From the press of your feet, heart leads, reverse swan dive all the way up. Inhale, take your arms up, stretch tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time like that. Inhale, high mountain, reach. Exhale, slow dive. So you can stick your butt out behind you, but keep your weight forward in the front half of your feet. Little bend in your knees, maybe big bend. Release it in, bow. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Now press firmly into your feet. Heart guides you. Take it up. Inhale, stretch tall. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, arms to the sky. And then as you exhale, bend your knees and bring your arms into a cactus position. So weight is in your heels. You should be able to pick up your toes, spread them apart, maybe even wiggle them around. And then with your cactus arms, try to press your arms back, but at the same time, press your chest forward. Now, rather than just letting go through your belly and really arching your spine, draw your belly button back and up. So feel your core engage. And if you really tune in, you can feel the muscles right on the outside of your butt. Just kind of give a little squeeze. One of my favorite teachers, Sean Helene, he says it's like you're putting corn forks in the sides of your hips. So you just get that little bit of tightening. You feel the underside of your glutes engaged. So it's those little tiny micro adjustments. Start to notice them. Start to feel muscles that you've never felt before. You didn't even know they existed. Take one more full round of breath here. Now listen, you're going to keep everything the same, but just bring your spine parallel to the ground. So spine stays long. Now think of pressing your arms up towards the ceiling, and at the same time, think of pressing your chest down. See if you can straighten your legs without rounding your back. So think of lifting your sit bones up, pressing the tops of your thighs back. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Let your arms hang. Maybe give your head a nice little shake out. Yes, no. Next time you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to the plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up. And then as you exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips, press them back. Inhale, think of rolling forward to high plank. So round your spine, draw your belly button in and up. You're on your tippy toes. Lengthen your spine now, high plank. Exhale, lift your hips and press back down dog. So move through these two poses with as much awareness, as much control as possible. Rounding your spine as you come forward, then lengthening. And then lifting your hips as you press back, and then lengthening. Do that a couple more times. So really think of cat pose as you come forward, and then take your spine along so it's parallel to the ground. Cat pose as you go back, and then take your spine along, lift your hips, press them back. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, watch me move. Next time you come forward to plank, stay there. You can come to your knees if you want to modify. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly lower. Back bend of your choice. I'm going to take Spider-Man Cobra, come up to my fingertips. Give yourself an extra breath or two if you would like. Maybe you move around a little bit, and then we'll meet back when you're ready, downward facing dog. All right. From your down dog, listen here, right leg to the sky. And then you're going to slowly, this is different, we're going to slowly walk our hands to the back of our mat until we're in standing splits. So eventually, all the weight comes into our left foot, right leg reaches up. Your fingertips are on the ground, but they're just very light. They're helping with balance. Option to take your left arm behind your left leg, hand behind ankle, forearm behind calf, elbow behind knee, and then think forehead towards your shin. So press arm into leg, leg back into arm. See if you can lift your right leg a little higher, spread through your right toes. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, start to crawl your hands forward again until you're in a three-legged down dog. Once you're in your three-legged dog, hold there. So lots of length from your fingertips up to your right foot. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, step your right foot all the way up very softly to the top of your mat. Bring your back knee gently to the ground. If you need extra cushion, you can either double up the side of your mat, fold it over, or since you're probably at home, grab a pillow, a blanket, a block if you have one, bring it underneath your back knee. All right, hands up to your front thigh. Walk your front foot forward a couple of inches so your heel is slightly out in front of your knee. And then start to move your right hip towards your right heel. So see if you can work your hips a little closer to the ground. As you do so, don't let your left hip turn out to the left at all. So imagine you're trying to rotate your left hip forward and even in towards center line. So if you're familiar with inner spiral, think of an inner spiral with your back thigh. Tone your low abdominals, lift through your heart. You can stay here or arms reach up. You can stay here, or final option, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back and down, squeeze shoulder blades towards your spine, and if you can, start to reach your hands back. Maybe knuckles towards the ground, heart towards the sky. Keep a tone through your low belly. Keep pulling navel to spine. Keep working your right hip towards your right heel. Take 2 more breaths. Soften through your face. Next time you breathe in, reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands to the ground on the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot over to the right side of your mat, so all the way out to the width of your mat, and forward even a little bit more. Now you're going to start to lower your upper body towards the ground, but what I don't want you to do, which is going to be so much easier, and I know you're going to want to do it, what I don't want you to do is just lean to the left. So if I lean over to the left, you guys, I can be here all day long. Nothing's really happening. I'm kind of getting a stretch, but it's not much. So, and it's not the right places either. So you want to push your weight towards your front right foot. So as you lower down, you're pushing your weight over to the right and even slightly forward. You don't want your knee to come forward over your ankle. So if that's happening, walk your right foot towards the top of your mat a little bit more. And then if you're pushing your weight to the right, that'll make it so you're not collapsing, so you just don't collapse in your legs. So then you can really just kind of settle and soften around it. This is a really good way to stretch your back leg as well, your quad, and even your hip flexors, your psoas. So when we lean to the left, what we do is we just kind of press our femur bone into our tendons and ligaments. So it feels like we're getting a good stretch there, but it's really just pulling on tendons. So we want to keep it in the muscle. Take about 3 more breaths. Wherever you feel the most sensation, visualize your breath moving into that space. Last round, maybe exhale out your mouth. And then slowly lift back up. Walk your right foot back to midline. Frame your right foot with your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then just step your back foot forward, nice and easy, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, fold in. Root through your feet, take it all the way up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach, and then this time, exhale, chair pose, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. So for some of you, you might have to keep your hands against your low back. That's okay, but just see if you can roll your shoulders down and back. So squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine. Then next step, if you can, reach your hands away from your body, so towards the back of your mat. Keep your heart lifted, keep your low abdominals toned, so pull navel to spine. Weight is in your heels. Take one more inhale here. Everything stays the same. Hinge at your hip spine parallel to the earth. Back of your neck long. If you can, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Now see if you can start to straighten your legs by lifting your sit bones up and pressing the tops of your thighs back. So you want to feel your sit bones broaden. Spine stays long, back muscles squeeze around your spine, lengthen more through your front body. One more inhale, lengthen through the back of your neck. Exhale, fold, hands to your low back, release your clasp, let your arms hang. You can give them a little shake out. You can shake your head yes or no. Next time you breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale at the top, and this time just once. Exhale, cat pose with your spine back to down dog. Press back. Inhale, roll forward to your plank, high on your tippy toes, and exhale, chaturanga, slowly lower. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Extra breath or two if you want it. We'll meet back in down dog. Reconnect to your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Spread your toes really strong through your left leg. Now exhale, start to crawl your hands towards the back of your mat, bringing all of your weight eventually into your right foot. So the hands get really, really light. I even come up to my fingertips. Think of it as a one-legged forward fold. Option to wrap your right arm behind your right leg. Hand behind ankle, forearm behind calf, elbow behind knee. And then press arm into leg, leg back into arm, forehead towards your shin. See if you can lift your left leg higher. Make your left leg straighter, stronger, more powerful. One more inhale. Exhale, start to crawl your hands back out, 3-legged down dog. So transition with intention. Take a moment in your 3-legged down dog. So much length from fingertips up to left toes. Lift from your belly button. Take one more inhale. Exhale, left foot to the top of your mat as soft as possible. Set your back knee down. Grab a blanket, a cushion, a pillow, anything you want to soften that back knee against the ground if you need it. I'm on carpet, so that's definitely helpful. Hands up to your front thigh. And then walk your front foot forward just a little bit so your ankle is slightly in front of your knee. Start to lean forward like you want to sit your left butt cheek on your left heel. Now listen to this cue. It's subtle. Think of pressing your left heel down and energetically pulling your left heel back and up towards your left butt cheek. So as you do that, you get what's called muscle energy in your legs. You're not just sinking or dumping into the stretch. Stay where you're at with your chest lifted, your belly toned. or arms reach. Final option, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Switch them this time to one finger over just to make it more fun. It's your non-habitual way of clasping. So yoga's all about getting away from patterns and habits. So we're switching it up. Shoulder blades squeeze your spine. Stay here or start to reach your hands back. Maybe knuckles towards the ground, heart towards the sky. Low abdominals stay toned. Draw navel to spine. Breathe. Soft through your face. Left butt cheek towards your left heel. Press down through your left heel. Pull it back and up. Take one more great, big, huge, full body breath. With your next inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the ground inside your left foot. Walk your left foot out to the edge of your mat, to the width of your mat, and then walk your left foot forward a little bit. So you can see my foot is quite a bit forward of my knee. I'm going to start to lower my upper body down, not by leaning over to the right. Woohoo, this is super comfy. Gonna be here for an hour. Just kidding. But rather than leaning to the right, which I know is what people want to do, lean to the left. So push your weight to the left, push your weight slightly forward, and then just relax and soften. If it's helpful, you can spin your left toes a little bit out to the left or even roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Just keep kind of pushing your weight over to the left rather than sinking to the right. Breathe. Exhale out your mouth at any time. Take about 2 or 3 more rounds. Last breath here. Exhale out your mouth if you want to. I think it's really nice. It's a cleanse. It's a rinse. And then slowly lift back up to your hands. Walk your left foot back to midline. So you're framing your left foot. Lift your back knee up. And then just step your back foot forward. Easy peasy. Forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bow fold. And plant your hands, step back to plank. Pause in your plank, side plank on your right hand. So roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot, left arm to the sky. Feet can be stacked, staggered, or if you want to modify, right knee can come to the ground, no big deal. Unless you have your bottom knee lifted, then lift your hips unless you have your bottom knee on the ground, then lift your hips really, really high. So think of an arch or rainbow shape with your body. Maybe reach your left arm forward, stretch through your left side, maybe float your left leg up. You can even go for a leg variation if you want to. Take about 2 more deep breaths. Push the ground away with your right hand. Spread through your fingers. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale slowly with control, other side. So come through plank. Left hand is your base now. Right arm to the sky. Whatever variation you want to take, it doesn't have to be what you did on the other side. So maybe right arm reaches forward. Maybe right leg floats up. Keep your hips really, really high to get out of your wrist and your shoulder. Good job, my friends. Take 2 more breaths with me. End of your next exhale, plank or modified plank. So hands on the ground, feet on the ground, maybe knees come down. Inhale at the top. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. And just for a moment, child's pose, sit back and rest. Breathe into your low back. Breathe into your low belly. So reconnect your Ujjayi breath. Fire it up, engage it, cultivate it. And then eventually, downward facing dog. We'll see you there. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, open up your right hip. So bend your right knee, squeeze your outer right butt cheek. Try not to sink into your left hand, your left shoulder, or your left hip. So hug in with your left inner thigh, lift from your belly button. Take one more inhale. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, or as close as you can come. So use your oblique strength. Inhale, three-legged dog. Take it back up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Maybe aim for your armpit, so get even higher. Inhale, back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your nose, scoop out your belly. Softly step your right foot forward. Bring your back knee down again. So grab your pillow, your blanket, whatever cushion you're using if you need one. Bring it underneath your back knee, and then hands up to your front thigh. So this time, you're gonna keep your ankle pretty much underneath your knee, maybe just slightly in front of it. This is where we get crazy, you guys. All right, so bend your back knee, reach your left hand back, see if you can grab hold of the top of your foot. Once you have your foot, I want you to see if you can turn your shoulders square towards the front of your mat. That might be where you stay. If this is where you stay, roll your left shoulder back and down, pull your left heel towards your butt, and then imagine you're trying to pull your left knee forward. So you're not sinking into your hips, you're keeping a 90-degree angle in your front leg, and you're energetically pulling your left knee forward. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, right hand reaches back and grabs the inner edge of your left foot. You can grab the top of your foot or your ankle. I like ankle for this variation, so this is where we get super crazy. You're rolling your shoulders back and down, and then you're starting to lower your foot towards the ground, lift your hips towards, lift your heart towards the sky. Tone your low belly. It's definitely a balance challenge. It's a balancing act. Keep hugging back towards midline. So I just fell out of it. If you fall out of it, no big deal. If you feel it in your low back, if you feel it in your low back, then tone your belly. So if you are watching me, this is what practice looks like. It's not perfect, and that's fine. That's part of it. Meet yourself where you're at. Take 2 more rounds. Good job, you guys. Slowly release your left foot. Woo, bring your hands to the ground, framing your front foot, and then we're going to take half splits. So either back toes tucked, and then bring your hips back to rest on your left heel. Straighten your left leg, straighten your right leg, flex your right toes. If that's too much on your back foot or you want a different variation, your hips can stay stacked over your knee. Walk your foot forward, your right foot forward a little bit. And then same thing, flex your toes. Everybody press down through the back of your right heel and energetically drag your right heel back. So towards your body or towards the back of your mat. Keep your spine, your low spine especially, nice and long. You can let your upper back round a little bit, maybe let your neck relax. So you're either folding forward, draping your torso over your front leg, or if you want to stay more upright, you're more than welcome to. If you have blocks at home or even books, you can use them underneath your hands as props to bring the ground closer to you. Take about 3 more breaths. Pull your right hip back and think of trying to lift your right sit bone up towards the sky. So you want the right side of your pelvis to kind of tilt forward, or at least have that intention, create that action. You're doing an awesome job. Take one last round. And then slowly come back into a lunge position. Lift your back knee off the ground. Now listen, walk your hands all the way over to the left side of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten out both legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Pause here, bend your knees just a little bit, and imagine you're really trying to stick your butt way out behind you. Now see if you can reach your arms out to the right and to the left. Keep your spine long. Squeeze your back muscles around your spine. Hug them in. Press the backs of your hands towards the ceiling, palms face down, and then think of pressing your heart towards the ground, backs of your hands towards the sky. Now, maybe straighten your legs by pressing the top of your thighs back, lifting and broadening through your sit bones. Take one more inhale. Exhale, wide-legged fold. Go anywhere you want to go. You've got about 5 breaths. So feel free to move and explore. Feel free to just be still. Only your breath moves. Think slow and steady, big and spacious. All right, last big breath here. Next time you inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips can stay on the ground. Crawl your hands to the top of your mat. Rotate your twisted face forward so you're back in a lunge position. We're going to come into standing splits again. So right foot roots down, left leg floats up. Okay. Option to stay in your standing splits and work it in your own way, whatever feels good to you. Option to come with me, and we're going to play with handstand for just a moment. So you'll walk your hands forward until you can plant your entire palms on the ground. So it's going to be a little different for everyone depending on how much flexibility you have in your right hamstring. So palms flat on the ground, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then start to really push the ground away. Lift up to your right tiptoes. Imagine a rope pulling up on your belly button, so lift through your waistline. Gaze slightly forward of your hands. Left leg, the one that's floating, should be really straight and strong. You want it to stay that way. Now use your right leg as a springboard. Start to take little hops towards handstand. So think of lifting from your center, squeeze through your inner thighs. You might get a little bit of hang time. You might not. You're just playing. You can keep hopping or you can hold in standing splits. Take a couple more breaths. All right, last inhale, maybe last hop for you. And then exhale, forward fold. Bring your left foot down next to your right foot so your big toes touch. Little gap in between your heels. Tuck and curl. Little tiny potato bug ball. So butt towards the ground, nose towards your knees. Option to wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins and squeeze. So really, really get small. Breathe into your back body. Stretch your back ribs with your breath. Last couple rounds here. Get as small as you can. So each exhale, draw navel to spine and find the deepest part of you, your very, very center. Next time you inhale, halfway lift. So heels on the ground, spine parallel to the earth. Exhale, fold. Root through your feet, rise to stand. Inhale, stretch your arms up, take your gaze up, open up the front of your hips. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, slow dive, traction out your spine. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Pause here. Again, side plank, right hand is your base. Roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot, left arm to the sky. This time, option to move into wild thing. So left tiptoe step back behind you, and then rotate your heart to look up. So think of pressing your heart forward and pressing your hips up. Back muscles hug around your spine. One more round. End of your exhale, slowly come back through center, plank position, and then with intention and control, side plank, left hand is your base, right arm to the sky. Stay here, take your own variation or option for wild thing. So right tiptoes come down behind you. Reach forward and turn your heart towards the sky. Press your hips up. So think of the baby toe edge of your left foot, karate chopping the ground. Take one more round. End of your exhale, back to a high plank position. Modify on your knees if you want to. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly lower. Back bend of your choice as you breathe in. And then we'll meet in child's pose again. So as you're ready, just sit back. Breathe into your low back, your low belly. Reconnect. In your next couple of rounds, we'll see you back in down dog. All right, inhale, left leg high. Try not to move the right side of your body. Open your left hip, so bend your left knee reaches out to the left, then up towards the sky. Squeeze your outer left butt cheek, flex your left toes. Keep pressing both hands firmly into the ground. Hug your right inner thigh in, lift through your belly button. One more inhale. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. So a little twist, try not to let your hips sink lower than shoulders. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left to left. So as high as you can get on your left arm, you should be on your back, tippy toes. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, knee to your nose. Scoop out your belly, step your left foot forward, lunge. Back knee comes down gently. Grab your pillow, your blanket, whatever you're using for extra cushion if you need it. And then hands to your front thigh. So we're starting here. Front knee is over your ankle, maybe just ever so slightly behind it. Hips are square. Bend your right knee, well, it's already bent, bend it more. Right heel towards your right butt cheek, reach back, grab the top of your foot. So there is a balance aspect in all of these poses because you have to keep hugging towards midline. So your inner thighs need to squeeze towards center. So if you're staying here, then your variation is going to be pull your right heel towards your right butt cheek, right shoulder rolls back and down, and then with your right knee, press down and try to pull forward. So that's how you're going to get that nice juicy stretch for your right quad. If you want to take it to the next level, and this is a big next level, so don't feel like you have to go there. Please don't feel like you have to go there. Left hand reaches back, grabs inner edge of right foot, or if you can, I like to bring both of my hands down to my ankle and then flex my toes. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift your heart and start to take your right foot down, heart up, belly tones, and you got to keep hugging towards midline with your inner thighs. That's how you stay balanced. Ooh. So you saw me last time, you saw me this time. I'm falling in and out. It's fine if you do that. You just need to be really careful that you're not just kind of flailing in it. You're staying engaged. And as long as you keep the muscle energy, you shouldn't get hurt. As long as you can breathe, you should be just fine. So please don't take it too far, but do look for your edge and then play with it. Breathe into it. Soften around it. Couple more rounds. All right, slowly release your right leg. Woo-wee, hands to the ground, framing your front foot, and then half splits. So either back toes tucked, hips come back to your heel, or if that's too much, that'll be kind of a lot on the sole of your foot, so it depends if you want that or not. You can keep your hips stacked over your knee, walk your left foot forward a little bit, and then straighten your left leg. Flex your toes. Left toes flex, press down through the back of your heel, and imagine you're trying to pull your left heel towards the back of your mat. So your left butt cheek pulls back. Stay more upright, maybe using blocks or books under your hands, or work it into a fold. So think of lengthening through your low spine. You can round through your upper back, relax your neck. Keep energetically trying to pull your left hip back. And even imagine you're trying to lift your left butt cheek up, 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 up towards the sky. Take about 3 more rounds. All right, next time you breathe in, come forward to your lunge again. Lift your back knee up. And then wide-legged forward fold. So hands over to the right side of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten your legs. All right, I'm going to turn to face you just so you can see what I'm doing. So inhale to a halfway lift. And then plant your hands on the ground, shoulder width distance apart. So if you need to kind of lean forward or bend your knees, that's fine. So plant your hands on the ground. You can gaze slightly forward of your hands, or if it feels better on your neck, you can just let your head hang. You're going to push the ground away and see if you can lift up to your tiptoes. Even if you have a bend in your knees, that's fine. Now, lift from your belly button, lift through your waistline. Set your heels back down. Do that a few times. So inhale, lift, push the ground away. And I want you to think, again, not of lifting from your feet so much. Think of lifting from your belly button like there's a rope pulling through your body towards the ceiling. So this is how we're preparing for handstand. If you want to watch me, I'll show you where you can go from here. If you don't want to watch me, if you don't care, that's completely fine with me. So from here, with your heels lifted, you're on your tiptoes. I will gaze slightly forward. I'm going to bend my knees, and then I'm just going to take little hops. As I hop, I'm trying to get the soles of my feet to look up towards the sky, and then I want my pelvis to change position. So right now, with my hands on the ground, I have a posterior tilt in my pelvis. I want to take it to an anterior tilt, so like I'm trying to kind of stick my butt out. And then you have to find that happy medium. If you're not interested in handstand at all, totally fine. You do not have to do it. You don't even have to lift your heels. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. If you don't care to do a handstand ever in your life, that is completely fine. It says nothing about who you are, and it says nothing about whether or not you're good at yoga. Just remember that. So never feel pressured, please. I'm just giving invitations. Halfway lift, fingertips on the ground, crawl your hands to the top of your mat. I'm going to switch out my legs since I changed sides. So now left foot is your foundation. Float your right leg up for standing splits. Go wherever you want to go. So please feel free to stay in standing splits. Maybe wrap your left arm behind your left leg. Explore it however you want to. If you want to take your handstand hops, play with them on this side. Plant your palms. Lift to your left tiptoes. Lift from your belly button. Right leg stays strong. Left leg is your springboard. Play with handstand. So maybe you just get your left foot like an inch off the ground. That's fine. Really push down with your hands. Lift from your belly button. Couple more breaths. All right, last inhale. Exhale, tuck and curl. So right big toe to left big toe. Bend your knees. Butt towards the ground. Nose towards your knees. Maybe wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins. Breathe into your back body. Exhale all the way to emptiness. Get even smaller. Curl in even more. Next inhalation, lift halfway. So spine parallel to the ground. Exhale, fold, bow. Root through your feet, rise up. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Flow, inhale, high mountain. Exhale, heart guides you down. Traction out your spine, take your time. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step to plank, move through your vinyasa however you want to. See you back in down dog. All right, reconnect to your breath. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, pigeon pose, right shin, top of your mat. Set your body down gently. So right knee towards the outer right edge of your mat. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. So you want your hips to lift first. So think of plugging the femur bones right into the sockets. So we're not just sinking into the joints, we're plugging them in. Joints are stable now. And then we want to stretch the muscles around our joints. So once you've got that, bow forward. And then even as you bow forward, imagine you're trying to drag your right hip towards the back of your mat. If you want to go deeper from there, you can scoot your back knee back a little further. Breathe. We'll be here for a while. So rather than anticipating what's next, when can I move again, just let yourself sit here, let yourself breathe into it, soften around it. All right, last breath or two. Exhale out your mouth if you want to. So just cleansing, cooling, side out. And then slowly start to lift back up. Three-legged down dog. So right leg to the sky. Give it a nice little shake out. You can circle your knee. You can circle your ankle. Eventually right foot down. Walk it out. If you would like to take a vinyasa in between sides, you're welcome to do so. And then everyone, I'm just going to say, when you're ready in your own time, find pigeon on the left side. So you'll extend your left leg up and bring your left shin forward. Take just as much time, awareness, care to set yourself up on this side as you did on the other. So hug towards midline. It's like you're trying to square off your hips, but obviously your front hip is open. You still want your hips straight across from each other. Breathe slow, deep Ujjayi breaths. Maybe as you sit in this posture, you come back to the intention you set at the beginning of class. Maybe you somehow bring it in, embody it, and just kind of put your awareness there for a moment. Maybe send your energy out. Just sending out your intention. Just putting it out there. Sealing it in, whatever makes sense to you, however it resonates for you, or if you don't have an intention for your practice, just be with your breath, be present. It's totally fine. It's my favorite thing about yoga is it really can be whatever you need it to be for you right now. About 4 or 5 more rounds. Exhale out your mouth anytime you want. Slowly, so you can be the ultimate judge, but I feel pretty much even. So when you feel pretty much even, slowly start to find your way up and eventually back to your three-legged down dog. And give your left leg a nice little shake out or whatever movement calls to you on this side. Eventually walk it out in one last down dog. If you want to take one final vinyasa, go for it. So in your last down dog, just find as much length, as much space as you possibly can. Breathe into it, move into it. Stretch into it. One last round. End of your exhale, set your knees gently down. Find a seat first and then lower down onto your back. So just nice and easy. I don't even care which direction your head faces, as long as you can hear me. That's really all that matters. So take it down onto your back. And once you're there, hug your knees towards your belly and just gently rock from side to side. Supine spinal twist, let your knees fall to the right. If there is a different variation you want to take, that's fine. Just legs over to the right first, left arm reaches out to the left, gaze up or over your left shoulder, and breathe into your belly. Let the ground hold more and more of your weight with each breath. And just start to kind of let your energy settle a little more. Let your body melt into the ground a little more. And then we'll move to the other side. So as you come through center, neutralize your spine by squeezing your knees in, wrapping your arms around the fronts of your shins. Lift your head up, nose in between your knees, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So like tiny little potato bug ball, but you're on your back. Release and let your knees fall to the other side, or take your supine twist, your whatever variation you took before, take it on this side as well. Breathe. Gaze up or over your right shoulder, soften through your face. And then when you feel pretty even on both sides, come back to center. Take a happy baby pose. So knees on the outsides of your ribs, soles of your feet face the sky. Grab hold of your feet. I like to grab the outer edges. Flex your toes, pull down with your arms, but with your legs, try to resist. So press up and even slightly forward through your heels. Neutral spine as much as possible rather than rounding your back. And if you want, you can play rock, straighten one leg, then the other leg. Maybe both at the same time. And give yourself as many breaths as you want to in your happy baby. From happy baby, start to find your way into your final relaxation, and you can take 5 to 10 breaths to get there. So any finishing poses, any final stretches or movements that your body is calling for, take them. So maybe one last inversion, maybe a big full body stretch, maybe just resting with your feet together, knees apart. So anything that will complete your own practice. for you right here, right now. And you guys, my thought for you as you move into Shavasana, and I eventually will leave you there, my thought for you is simple. It's one of my favorites by Jeff Foster. And he just says, there are two core fears in this life. One is not getting what you want. Two is losing what you have. There is one solution: falling in love with where you are. So I feel like that is honestly the secret to life, is just falling in love with where you are over and over and over again, moment by moment, breath by breath. So right now, a lot of us probably do not have what we want. We're not getting what we want. And a lot of us have probably lost a lot of things that we had that we thought were part of our lives and that were creating stability for us, that was our ground that we stood on, and now it's gone. And now I think it feels like for most of us, we're kind of in hover mode where we don't have our feet on the ground. So the only way to let go of suffering from that is to fall in love with where we are right now. And really, I think by doing that, that's where peace comes. That's where that inner tranquility, that inner happiness comes from. It's within. So for these last few moments, fall in love with where you are. Let yourself just rest and relax. Give into gravity. If you have 30 seconds to spend in your Shavasana, spend it. If you have 15 minutes to spend in your Shavasana, spend it. So if you are using my playlist, you're welcome to kind of just fast forward, I want to say, but click on the last song. That'll be your Shavasana song. Stay for the whole song if you can, if you have time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you. I miss seeing you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste.